everyone, and welcome to your Forza podcast. Today with us we have Sappytron. Hi, Sappytron. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's nice to, I say, do something different. A long day at work, and say do something like this. I mean, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you
Say
for being here. Thank you.
very
Thank you very much.
thankful to be here.
Yeah. Thank for finding a little bit of time in your schedule for talking to me and make
Oh,
me be awake till 1 in the morning. I'm just kidding. Waiting for you. Just kidding. Okay, sorry. I needed to be more professional with my interviews. So sorry. Let's go. So, for those who don't know Sappytron, he's a commentator for Premier Scene Gaming League, Forza Team Wars, and 1 Hour of Racing, and maybe some other races and competitions as well. But we are going to focus more on this racers, not so much actually Premier Scene Gaming League because it's Formula One game. So, and we talk mostly about Forza games. Yes. Anything else that I missed? No.
I'd say pretty much got everything there.
Okay. Okay.
Say I read like a menu more than I do anything
Okay.
else.
Okay. So now we will start talking a little about Forza and you, and then we go on what you're doing in the Forza community. Yeah. So let's see. What's the first Forza game you have ever played?
That would have to be Forza Motorsport 2. I never got the luxury of the original.
Yeah.
Which I remember really wanting as a kid. Seeing it come out and thinking, oh, the car's just shiny. I want to play that.
Oh.
And say coming off some other gaming franchises, seeing that was pretty magical. Eventually, played Motorsport 2 for a bit, and then unfortunately ended up selling our Xbox. And then I got a 360 and got onto Motorsport 3 and 4, and it was kind of just a constant train ever since.
Okay. And then, that's nice. So you played just the first one. You didn't play. No, that's very nice. Do you have any preference between Motorsport and Horizon?
I want to say Horizon purely because I find out on Motorsport that I run out of talent very, very quickly.
Okay.
I'll go around a corner I expect to make on my Horizon brain, and then realize, hang on, I'm running out of grip, and there's a gravel trap right over there. So,
okay,
say Horizon just a little bit more, gives me a bit more creativity, a bit more freedom. So I generally prefer that.
Okay. And what's your favorite car?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm torn on this because there's like a few that come to mind. In terms of within the franchise, this is sort of like an edge case one. It was the can't remember the Bertoni. Is that how you pronounce it? Bertone. But the Mantide from Motorsport 4.
Okay.
I remember looking at that car and thinking it looked like something out of an Alien movie. It looked insane. And I was immediately captivated by it. So it's, I mean, in terms of leaving a lasting impression, it's probably my favorite car in the franchise. I mean, between that and a C5 Corvette Grand Sport, let's say, classic muscle.
Okay. And do you have a favorite track? It can be Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport. It doesn't matter.
All right. I may appease some of the motorsport, say, diehards, because my favorite, and I thought long and hard on this one, it's Camino Viejo de Montserrat. It was in Motorsport 3 and Motorsport 4.
Okay.
But I basically remember it for being such a crazy track. It was so much, say, uphill, downhill. I remember the extreme variant basically had you weaving left and right through rocks. Say super narrow, super challenging to drive, especially with like much younger me not knowing how to drive car well in the first place, and then thinking, okay, let's go manual with clutch sim damage, and then just piling into the first corner.
But
I remember it being such a satisfying circuit to get right, especially once you up the pace and you got a bit more exciting with the car choices. So to nail that track,
Mm.
it was one of the first few moments that I genuinely felt like super proud of, like a hot lap, and that sort of stuck with me.
Oh, okay, that's, I think we're the first person who says this, who choose this track. Yes, that's not. I didn't even know it exists, to be honest with you. So yeah,
It's
nice.
somewhat lost in the archives. I say after Motorsport 4, it was never even
Mm.
mentioned since, because
Okay.
everyone thinks of the I say Fujimi Kaido when you talk about lost tracks from
Okay.
those motorsports.
Okay. Okay. Who knows? They bring it back in the new Forza Motorsport next year.
Please.
I don't know.
Please. That would make my little, say, 10-year-old heart very happy.
And what's your least favorite track?
Ooh. Okay, this one's tough.
Yeah.
I'm going to upset some people here, I think, because I'm going to say Monza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's only because, like, once you look past the fact that it's like a speed demon track, like you see cars going 200 plus miles an hour.
Yeah.
Once you get over that, yes, it has heritage, but as a track, I feel like there's so much more that other tracks give. Like, it's not, say, all that complex. It's it has some dramatic moments, but
Okay.
it's certainly not high on my list, just because
Okay.
once you take away the speed, it's a very simple track. It's not all that exciting.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So, and when did you realize you were a car guy, that you like the car? Oh, car is my thing.
Honestly, I think that this is going to sound super cliche, but as soon as I could think of, as soon as I could form a proper thought, say I was lucky enough to say have some family who were very close to the automotive industry. Like my grandfather, he worked at say a Honda dealership when I was very young.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember say times where he would take me to the dealership and I'd look at the cars, and I was like a toddler at this point. But I'd hear I'd be retold stories, and then I'd remember just sitting without fail in front of the TV to watch the Formula One race that weekend, like without fail for years.
Nice.
So really, it was a case of like, at that age, you sort of I found that fixation pretty much instantly, and it never stopped.
That's nice. That's nice. But I think for the most guests that I have had here, most of them start in the very early age. It's, I think it's just things we don't choose what to like. We just like it. It's, yes, I like cars. I want to know everything about cars or races or everything. It's that's, I think it's very nice. I can see that many of my guests, they have a lot in common, even though they are very different people. They have different backgrounds. They have a lot in common, and that, I think it's very nice. And what does your GT mean? Where does it come from? Sappytron.
Okay, yeah. Basically, it came out of a whole. It's like a secondary school in joke. So I'm from the UK. So
Yeah.
it's like where some people have so different school systems.
Okay.
When I say secondary school, I mean is say like ages, say 13, 14, 15.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what that is like in the American system or anything else, but
I don't
that's
know
the
either.
age range.
Okay.
So I started secondary school, and we had say about 7 classes of around 30 people. And the problem is that in my little set of 30 people, there were 3 Bens.
Okay.
So we had to quickly figure out a way of differentiating them. Now, the way that often people would do it is they would either go by their surname,
yes,
or they would go by some sort of nickname.
Yes.
Originally, I just went by, say, my surname, Sassford, and then one day, one of my mates, to say at the time, Owen, came up to me and was like, "You're right, Sappy." And it's like, "Sappy? Well, who's that?" It's like, "Well, I thought, say, shorten your surname, with Sappy, it works, right?"
Yes.
And that's sort of stuck.
Yeah.
The only reason I took Tron on the end is
Yeah.
because Sappy is taken everywhere, and also because it's a Nirvana song, so I can't really claim that.
Okay.
But no, that just sort of stuck since secondary school. It's all my tags, it's my everything. I don't really know any different.
Okay. Yeah, now that it's first time I see your surname, so yeah, it makes sense. That's true. No, that's very nice. It's nice. I like it. I like Sappytron. It sounds nice. Yep. Maybe I would
think
change
it's got a decent ring to it.
Yeah, I think I would change to Robitron. Just kidding. What does Forza mean to you?
That's a question.
That's the question.
Geez, I'm gonna have to dig deep for this one. I think it was just the fact that cars was something I was so passionate about anyway, and one of the things I struggled with a bit as a kid is because say I'm on the spectrum. I say ASD, Asperger's syndrome at the time. Well, now it's just autism spectrum disorder. But I did well academically, but I struggled to make friends.
Yeah.
And I think, say, what Forza means to me is that it is part of my passion, but also I felt like I could express that passion, and that allowed me to connect with so many people, to find friends, and to sort of like not establish myself, but just feel like I have a home in that common interest. That was really sort of what it meant to me, sort of since I started with the franchise. It gave me a home, so to speak.
That's nice to know. It's very nice. It's I like to ask this question because I can see that many people, it's more or less like when they realize a cars, everyone has a very similar story, but it's never the same story. It's very nice that most say that Forza means family, friendship, community, and that's why I like to ask this question, even though people need to think about a little before. So it's nice. So now we are going to talk a little about what you do in the Forza community. So who is Sappytron? How did you start making all this commentating? Sorry, that's so hard word on me. How did you start doing this? How did you have always dreamed since you were a kid watching Formula One and said, "Oh, someday I will be there commenting the races"?
I say my original passion was to be a racing driver. So
okay.
I mean, that sort of changed and tweaked about over time, and what it ended up happening is that by the time Horizon 5 rolled around, I finally built the confidence to join Team Wars. So Horizon 4, I was more just like a spectator. I was looking at the sidelines, didn't really have that confidence in my own ability to get there. Horizon 5, I just said, you know what, new game, fresh playing field, let's just go in. See what you make of it. It can't be that bad. So ended up joining a team. Let's say TBR had a really good debut. Let's say really fun couple of races with them, and then what ended up happening is just pop up in general. Basically a message to the effect of, I can't remember the matchup, but it basically said, "Hey, all our casters are busy / missing. Can anyone fill in on short notice? Doesn't have to be top quality. We just want someone to cast this matchup." At which I said, you know what? Let's give it a try. I've watched enough Formula One to think I know what I'm doing. So gave it a go. Apparently, people really liked it, wanted to see me return. So at that point, Say the Team Wars guys were really great, super accommodating, got me hooked up with, say, Castrol, all of the assets and what they're working with. And then just it went from there. I kept trying to hone the craft production wise, and now we are sort of here regularly casting for these series.
How often do you do it? 1, 2, 3 times a week?
So casting in general, usually a few times a week. So it's not just Forza. I have a couple other things on the side that I do for other groups.
Okay.
But generally, it's usually at least once a week, just because I put a lot into the production side. There's a lot to it, a lot of moving parts in the background, but I generally aim for at least one Forza event a week. So if like there's a headlining battle, I'll call dibs so I can prep for that week, or say like 1 hour of racing. I'm not contracted, but I've basically signed on to be the primary caster for the whole series, and hopefully same is true for following seasons too.
That's nice. That's to know. I didn't know there were so many. Nice. And what's the biggest challenging in doing this casting? Because I imagine you needed to have many screens, many to be able to follow up with everyone with all the races, or you just see one person streaming. How does it work?
So I said a lot of moving parts to it. I think the hardest part, and it's kind of completely my own fault, is the production. So when there's like a big race happening, I not only do the live commentary, but I also do all like the live graphics. I also do any sort of pre-rendered footage. So like for 1 hour of racing, they have a sort of slow panning shots of the track in the background. When I'm talking about the track, I have to go in and record that. If say liveries, paints of the cars, showcase, I'm recording that. And sometimes getting that information, especially in the case of something like Team Wars where it's not as formal, getting that information can be difficult sometimes. Not people aren't always immediately available to talk to say, hey, what kind of cars are you running? Do you have say the share code for the track? And that has improved a lot. It has improved quite a lot in terms of communication, but early days it was sometimes a bit of a struggle.
Okay, so you like to do everything yourself. There is no one helping you.
That's kind of the way it goes at community level, really. Of course, when you get to say much more professional gigs, and when you get into sort of the realm of companies and sponsorships, you have dedicated teams. But at this stage where you are operating still, even if you're big in the community, you're still operating within the community. So you don't have a formal structure. So usually it relies on, say, the caster is also the stream manager, is also the producer, is also the you get the point.
Okay. And all this casting, do you do on your Twitch channel or in other channels also?
Mostly it's been my channel, but starting to move away from that. So like 1 hour of racing, as it gets more professional, we're moving over to an official channel for the event. And then let's say for Team Wars, mostly on mine, but I'm just trying to strike a balance at the moment.
Because if you are interested in watching, I will add all the links to 1 hour racing and Forza Team Wars in the description of this video. So just click and go and follow him, and follow Team Wars and follow 1 hour racing, both on Twitter, Twitch, and Discord. If you guys have a Discord server, all the links will be in the description. Okay, so let's go forward now. What's the biggest challenging I have already asked? Do you have any inspiration for your style? Or because I said I have watched so many Formula 1 games or other races, or other kind of races? I don't know. Do you have any idol commentator idol?
I don't know if I can pin it down to anyone in particular. I
Mm,
think it's just a general inspiration for, say, Formula One style commentary, having that
mm,
balance. It's like if you get, let's say, UK coverage, you have, say, Martin Brundle and, say, Crofty, we call him.
okay.
But you have, say, the hype man who's
Yeah.
sort of yelling and getting very
Yeah.
excited in the big
Yeah.
moments.
Mm,
And then you have, say, Brundle, who's, say, more analytical, takes his time, explains the
yeah.
situation. I like to look at it from that second perspective
Yeah.
because I think that a lot of the racing goes underappreciated. It's like, yeah, you can go faster than the other guy, but how do you go faster than the other guy? And that, I think,
Okay.
that's something super interesting that
Mm,
commentators don't always talk about.
yeah.
So probably, say, thinking about it, say Martin Brundle probably one of my inspirations for how I do what I do.
Yeah. And are you able to follow up with the chat while you are doing it, or you just focus on the race?
Yeah, it's gonna sound counterintuitive despite being a live stream, but in these kind of events, chat
Mm,
usually takes more of a back seat. Your
okay.
focus is on the racing. It's the same reason why I don't have a face cam when I
Okay.
cast when there's races. I could
Okay.
have a face cam. My camera's right there.
Yeah.
But the focus is on the racing, not
Okay.
on the chat, not on me.
Yeah.
So if there's like a big question coming in chat, if it's relevant to talk about in the
Mm,
commentary box, I'll bring it up. But
yeah.
generally, I'm not there like responding to every chat. And that's
Okay.
not to say that they're not appreciated. It's to say that the focus is elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, I understand, because I know racing and streaming, it's complicated, and don't race and text at the same time.
Yeah. And there's it's not just that, there's so much to follow as well. Like some of these
Mm,
races, especially early laps, there's so much going on that often you don't have time to look at chat. It's
yeah,
simply
I
you don't
understand.
have time.
You
It's
can
you're too
miss
focused
something
on
else.
what's going
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Now we are going to talk about something else. We are going to talk about something called Forza Dash. Can you tell me about it? Because
Uh,
it's something real kind of new that I heard a few weeks ago for the first time. I thought it was very interesting. I was a little unsure about if it was okay, but it is. Some people, maybe not everyone knows what Forza Dash is.
all right, so this is kind of a little passion project on the side
Yeah,
that I've sort of been developing behind the scenes. Um, Basically, Forza Dash is about giving people customization over how their game looks a lot
yeah,
more than the game was originally built around.
yeah,
I'm choosing my words very carefully because I don't want to give anyone an impression that it's like a modification of the
yeah.
game or
Okay.
it's like anything illegitimate. No, it's
Yeah,
completely legitimate. That's one of
yeah.
our core values. I say no modding whatsoever.
Mm,
In fact, even though the say the community that we're starting to build on Discord is about like perfecting your experience and
mm,
changing your UI, if
yeah.
there's even a mention of modding, you're
Mm,
out just
okay.
because that's not something we stand for. We want
Okay.
to create those experiences, create those opportunities, but we want to do it properly. We want to do it legit. So the project is all about basically it's a Forza Dash play, I'd say dashboard, your
Yeah,
UI, how the game looks. So
yeah,
it's essentially a team of a few of us who have been, say, working on these, say, projects and dashboards. So now we're at the stage where everything's all in one place. It uses the game's data out feature. So
yeah.
one of the things baked into the engine is you can turn on data out, which essentially allows you to export. So
Okay.
take all the data like how much throttle you're using, how much you're steering in one direction, the temperature
Okay.
of your tires, if your
Yeah.
tires are underwater. It
Okay.
takes those values and it allows you to put them into another application. And again, this is a baked-in feature of the game. So what we
Okay.
did is we decided, it started with me and then a couple other people, and we all eventually banded together. But essentially, it came with the idea of, okay, this is how Forza looks on its own. What can we do to make it better? There's certain things that I wanted that weren't in the standard Dash. Certain things I wanted to try and add back in. Certain things I wanted to add that were new. And eventually, using this and a program called SimHub, which a lot of sim racers use for custom dashes, and so like having info screens on like an iPad next to their computer. Taking that and bringing it all together. So now we're in the stage where if you want to upgrade your existing UI in the game with stuff like tire temperatures, drift angle, deltas, if you're trying to improve rivals times, you can do that. If you want to swap your gauges to looking like it came from Need for Speed Underground 2, you can do that. If you want to swap it to look like Gran Turismo 7, you can do. I could go on, but that's the whole premise.
That's nice. So but if understood, is it only for PC players?
So at the moment, because it overlays on the game, it's only for PC. The thing is, you can do it for Xbox, but the problem is, one, you can't overlay it on top of the game, and two, you would still need a little bit of technical know-how. So how we set it up on PC is that you put on data out, you set the port to say 8,000, which is just like a analytics port that's reserved, and then you do an IP called 127.0.0.1, and that isn't a real IP. As I say, don't panic, that's not a real IP. All that is just rerouting back to your own computer. So essentially, it's feeding back to itself. Now, for Xbox, it's a little bit harder. So and then there's the other thing of, at that point, you're just creating a second UI on a different screen. So it defeats the object. So one thing down the line we want to do, and I've been very public about this because I do want to bring something to Xbox, is that once we polished up the PC releases, we're going to work on a companion that you can put on, say, a computer or a phone or tablet. We'll give you instructions on how to export it. But it will still be useful, because I feel like if you wanted this on Xbox, you'd have to do it on another screen, and by that time it defeats the purpose. So we want to build something specially for Xbox. And that's going to take some time.
Yeah, I can imagine it. For me, it will take forever because I don't know how to do it.
A lot of trial and error. So, I mean, for reference, Horizon Plus is that's my main project. That's what started this all off. And that was in development since about August time. So the first prototype was chalked up in about 3 days. It just came from a random idea and tinkering and realizing, hang on, I could do something with this. And then it was about a month of testing, a month of adding new features to get it to 1.0, to get it to final release. And even then now, I literally, I say whenever this goes up, but Friday the... Oh, I'm trying to tot the number. So Friday the 4th of November, we just released an update. So it's still developing on it, still updating it, still squishing bugs. So it's very much a working project. Like, you want to get it perfect.
Yeah. So the 4th was like 10 days ago. Because this, as everyone knows, this wasn't recorded today, the day of the release. So and now I hope it goes well with this Forza Dash. It seems interesting, mainly for people who wants to race it more seriously than in competitions. I think for these people, it's very important to know temperature, the tires, or for me, that I just race for fun. I don't think it's something for me. But for you all that because I know there are many people that would like they are very competitive when racing. They want to know all these information. They want to know everything. So it's very important. And if we are watching this, go and get to know a little more, get involved in Forza Dash because it could help you be like the 2 seconds faster. I think 2 seconds would be a lot in a race.
I mean, I've had a lot of people actually come to me or say to some effect of, "Hey, I tried Horizon Plus. I put on the Delta timer, and I'm running, say, a good 3-4 tenths faster now than without it." And that's kind of say what I was looking for. I mean, I don't just want it to be for racers. So, like the update on that Friday, was it added the only thing it added, it was a lot of bug fixes, but the main thing was a drift angle meter. So it's not just racers, it's like that update, it was making sure that drifters got some love, because I mean drifters a vastly underappreciated part of the community. I'm still very much part of it and do deserve a bit of love.
Yeah, I think so. I think they need some more stuff to do in Forza. Because it's true. And also the drag race community, I think, would need a little more attention in Forza.
I'll have to get a bit more creative in terms of drag racing. I haven't thought of anything yet that I could add.
Don't do it. I think they will appreciate it.
I'll get to the drawing board once I'm done writing.
Now, another thing. I read on your Twitter bio that you are a freelancer writer for esports.net. Tell me about it. What do you do there?
Yeah, so that's again another sort of side gig or passion project. It almost to say hand in hand with commentating, because all I'm doing is say taking that passion that say comes out verbally when I'm casting races, and I'm just putting it on paper instead. So say I do articles basically every week about Forza, and whether that is like a competitive roundup, whether that is an opinion piece, whether that is a specific focus on certain parts of the community. I do try and make sure that say the community, that Forza in general gets the spotlight it needs, especially if we're heading into motorsport. I definitely want to do a lot of coverage on motorsport, and if they're going to be covering and trying to get back into esports, that's my bread and butter.
So I guess you are really looking forward to the new Forza Motorsport next year.
Absolutely. I have faith, and while we don't know much yet. I have faith that say just the premise of a new engine alone will be sort of what the franchise needs. It's like a fresh start, everything cleaned up. So hopefully, if nothing else, we get a game that say like just stable, fun to play, and does what it sets out to do. And that's really all I'm asking for.
Yeah. That's I am pretty sure that many people asking for it too.
Yeah, I know I'm not alone on that.
No, you are not. You are not. I am sure you are not. That's going to be it's soon. It's spring 2023. So yes, okay. It's another half a year now, 5-6 months, 7, maybe even more. Yeah. Well, it will arrive. We will wait.
It'll be here when it comes.
Yes, we will. But another thing that I was thinking, also this Forza Dash will be available for Forza Motorsport, or for the new Forza Motorsport, or just Forza Horizon?
If the need arises, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we added, so like the tire model and things like drivetrain and throttle and brake. They are, I added them because part of the inspiration was bringing back those parts of motorsport. And if they're not in motorsport, then you know where I'll be. But it's a long-term project. It's a reason I didn't call it Horizon Dash, is because I see this as something not just for Horizon, but also for motorsport. We're looking at backporting as well.
Yeah.
So taking Horizon Plus and making a Horizon 4 version is one thing we're in talks of at the moment, because I know a lot of people still play Horizon 4s because that has a ranked mode. So
Yeah.
a lot of the hardcore players still go there.
Yeah, that's true. So yes, they also are asking for the ranked league now, rank the races in Forza Horizon 5. Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Let's hope. Well, but maybe it's a way to make people still play Forza Horizon 4 if they don't have ranked races.
I'm pretty sure it's still out on sale, so
yeah,
yes, opportunity there, I guess.
Yes.
So that Horizon 5 is where the community sort of stepped in and said, all right, if you're not got ranked, then we'll come up with something.
Yes,
in a way, I'm thankful, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to do what I've done.
Yeah, that's true. And now we are also another thing that we are just looking forward. It's the new expansion for Forza Horizon 5 that's coming next year. They said early 2023, so yep.
Exciting. We'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah, well, let's see. There's so many people talking about it, so we will see what it comes. Well, Sappytron, thank you very much for talking to me and taking your time. I know you are a very busy person. I mean, I imagine with everything you do.
Plus, thank you for having me.
Private life.
Great.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for the terrible start introduction I made for this podcast. Sorry.
It's all good. Thank you, honestly.
Thank you.
It's great being here.
And you that are watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, and to go and follow Sappytron and the Team Wars and 1 Hour Racing. That all the links will be here in the description of this video. Okay? Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.